Hold on to your ghosts!
Oh yes, the battle lines have been drawn.
Amuse me, Traveler Spawn.
You're on the edge of victory. Annihilate them.
As if my life wasn't hard enough already.
If you think this armor is impressive, you should see me out of it.
Guess what you are?
Yep.
Hey everyone! Welcome to the first episode of Fireteam Misadventure 2021. We had a couple delays. I got sick. Arctic's not here today because he got stuck at work. But we're here now. So welcome to the show, everybody. This is a show about our love of Destiny by some Destiny lovers and the Bulletheads clan, which you can visit the clan at bulletheads.org, right?
Yes. Yep.
I got it right this time. And you can join us because we're really fun. If you watch the past episodes, you know how excited I'm to be part of it. And these people love, obviously, being in it. Obviously. So I am a Warlock. I'm Slayton, and I'm joined by Scooter DP.
DB, well, currently I haven't been anything, but I am normally a hunter in PvP and a warlock in PvE.
And Maddie.
Yes, I'm Maddie, and normally I'm always a hunter. I have yet to create more than one character, so
We are going to get you there.
I am considering a warlock, though. I have been
We'll see.
considering a warlock.
Come do the Warlock. I do have a Titan. I don't touch very often, but I did load him up the other day to get the season pass armor set, and I totally made him look like Ava Unit 01. He's bright purple and green and looks like a giant rhinoceros beetle, and he's ridiculous.
Now, I do play all three characters evenly as far as doing the weekly things and the raids and all that stuff like that. But if I'm just going into PvP, nah, I'm just a hunter.
I don't even go to PvP. So
Yeah.
You don't want to right now.
nobody goes into PvP, which is what we're talking about today. So we decided today we want to talk about why we're bored, because I don't think any of us have really been in Destiny since November, December.
I mean, I did a lot in January for the raid. Still haven't got the eyes tomorrow, but at this point, I'm just too bored. So
that's really sad. See,
It
I
is.
got in a couple weeks ago because I really wanted necrotic grips.
Mhm.
And it was the lost sector with all the bots that are invincible, Bunker 13 or whatever. 6 tries, I got it.
Nice.
6 complete clears. Then I went and joined someone on the Wrathborn hunt. I got the Wrathborn ship right off the back. Then we went and did something else, and I got the Cloud Strike. So I got 3 in a row.
Nice.
I was like,
Even
So
though
now
they
I run-
just fixed the Cloud Strike. So
well, I've only used it once. It's in my inventory. I think it's fun, but it's when I start playing Sniper Rifles, I'll play with it, because
I
right
think
now
it's a meme weapon, honestly.
well, right now it's Necrotic Grips and Thorn.
Nice
That-
combo. Very nice combo.
That
That's
was
an ad
way more
clearing.
amazing.
Yeah, that's
Just-
ad clearing crazy.
Poison everywhere.
That's our next, subclass, by the way, too. I guarantee it.
Oh, I hope so, because
Corruption or whatever they're gonna call it.
I love these gauntlets, and I actually was like, hey, here we go. So you just see everyone's green and glowing, and there's all these souls of devourers everywhere, and you're like, yeah,
I could
yeah.
do this.
I can totally do this. So I haven't been on a lot to play. I did
No.
that just to help some people, and I helped my cousin the other day who started a brand new Freelight character. It's a Risk Runner mission. It was weird. It was
yeah,
just,
yeah.
yeah. But I keep hearing that, especially because of PvP, which we will get to. Everyone's bored. What are your thoughts?
Pretty much. There's no content. There's no
Yeah,
end game.
and I think part of the problem, because I was actually talking to the nephew of, or the son of my best friend. That's why I wanted to call him nephew, because we're like sisters. But and he's, I mean, 16, 17. So keep in mind the age difference. But still, he was kind of asking too. He's like, "Oh, you don't play that much anymore?" And I'm like, "Just not really recently." And he still does raids because that's what him and his buddies can do. I mean, they live in Minnesota. They can't go out of their house basically because everything's locked down all the time. So they still get in a lot of that, and so him and I were talking about it, and I said, I think part of the reason is, and I believe this happens anytime a new raid comes out, because the raid is always about 10 days to 2 weeks after the drop of the new year kind of content. It always comes after a big, Forsaken
Expansion.
and
Yep.
Shadowkeep, and and then so not only are you starting this huge giant story, now you have to prepare for a raid that you're going to have in 2 weeks. Which normally means creating three characters in order to get high enough light level. Thankfully, this
Or
year
grinding the
didn't have
crap
to.
out of it like we did.
Yep. Or you got to take time off of work, like I did, and just grinded the crap out. So
I
now
used the
you're
cheese.
playing.
All 3 characters.
Yeah, that too. So now you're playing 2 to 3 weeks nonstop, nothing but Destiny, and you do everything in there to get to that light level. Now the raid drops. Now you're excited because you're like, oh, okay. Now I've got some weapons to go after. I've got new people I can teach how to do this. You get that a little excitement for about a week or two, and then nothing, because everything happened in the first 3 weeks of the season, and then there's nothing else after it.
Well, we also did not get. I mean, I don't think anyone's counting the Wrathborn hunts as a seasonal activity because it's so
Repetitive.
bad and
It's
easy.
short and repetitive.
It's not like, and I know, like, someone might hate on this, but even the Seraph Towers were more interesting than the Wrathborn hunts, honestly speaking.
I
So-
enjoy.
Yeah, because that was kind
those
of, you
open.
had to have other people around to help you out with it and know what they
Yeah.
were doing. And which maybe they did it this way so that people could do it solo. Maybe that's the feedback they got with the Seraph Towers was, I'm a solo player and I have to rely on random people and they're not doing their job.
Well, what they've essentially done after the Seraph Towers is, take away all activities, in my opinion. Once the Menagerie hit, that was amazing. I could go into Menagerie, and what I like to call a lot of these activities, we don't have any mindless grinds. So we don't have the Forges, we don't have the Menagerie, we don't have the Seraph Towers, we don't have, what was that thing called in Osiris? The big,
The
Sundial.
Forest.
yes, the Sundial.
Sundial.
And so we don't have any of those mindless things to grind and just say, well, screw it, I'm going to go in the Menagerie, or I'm going to go in the Sundial, or this, that, and the other. We don't have that. We have Wrathborn hunts that aren't worth a flip. So they need to bring that back next season. Next season, in my opinion, is going to make or break a lot of the community.
Right.
I've been noticing that in everything I've been reading online, because we have the next season like 2 weeks, and they haven't
Yep.
really talked about it, except for, hey, we're giving you Umbra Ugrams again, which I'm excited for, but like
that only
DP
goes so
said,
far.
Right.
It does.
Well,
I-
where did they put it in the tower?
They have a place for it, but
Yeah.
DP had their first question: what loophole?
Like I know that they said that they've hired some people to come in and really work on the weapons and get them out there, this, that, and the other, and variety. And they're talking that season 13 is going to be the season to get a bunch of new weapons and stuff because they've heard the communities cry and blah blah blah. But you said back in season 10 or 11 or something like that, when if you've watched any of the YouTube videos, you know that one of the devs said, well, you know, sunsetting is a good thing because all the weapons like the Recluse are going to be gone, which will give us more opportunity to give us the new shit on everything weapons. And we haven't seen that. We had to regrind a Gnawing Hunger. We have the Ikelos SMG, but what else do we have? And it's not really a shit on weapon with the Ikelos SMG. It's great. I use it primarily, but it's not the Recluse. It just makes a Warmind cells. That's it.
Yeah.
And you have to have a specific spec to really use the Warmind cells, which is why I stick with Charger Light because it's more universal.
I use them both in tandem, honestly speaking.
Well, my problem with the loot pool is they keep re-releasing old guns. Like, do we need Hawkmoon again? No.
Well,
Need something new.
it's a community favorite, and I will say at first, being a D1 player, you know, a D1 alpha, it was great to see the Holy Trinity come back. Now, when Hawkmoon first came out, we were all like, this isn't Hawkmoon, you know, where's, you know, Luck in the Chamber and, you know, the other one. But with this being the first exotic that can get random rolls, it got people excited. And granted, the random rolls aren't exactly what we wanted, but it's really not that bad. It does give us a variety. So I feel this opens up for more exotics in the future to be random rolled, which wouldn't be too bad in my opinion, because exotics don't get sunset. The only problem with exotics are they're exotics. You only get one.
I laugh because you're like, they finally gave us what we wanted, but not really. It's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
they only half-ass measure this, and I can't figure it out why. What is stopping
because it would
them
break-
from just
it-
actually doing it?
Well, so with Old Hawkmoon, with the 2 perks in it, that would break the game as far as everything they've worked to take away. So they had to bring it back. Granted, they gave it the paracausal shot. Do I think they could tone it down a little bit? I mean, they gave us 1 extra bullet. So to get to the paracausal times 7, you have to hit 7 headshots in a row. Now, in PvP, that's difficult, but, you know, in PvE, not so bad. I've done some testing. You know, the numbers are good, but you only gave us 8 to begin with, and now only 9. So it's kind of like, why didn't you do it like 5 shots or maybe even 6 shots? Not 1 before you're done. I don't know. I just didn't like the way they set it up.
Do you think the reason, because they used to announce stuff a lot earlier than they are now,
Mhm.
is it because they're really just flying by the seat of their pants for the best lack of a better
Pretty
term?
much. I
Like-
think they have a plan, but they don't have the money or the resources. And when I say resources, you know, Vicarious Visions, Activision, any of that, they don't have any of that to pull it off. So they're having to put out mediocre content to keep us somewhat, you know, satisfied, and they're doing a bad job at that right now.
Well, and I could go ahead and play the devil's advocate here and go, maybe they're taking this opportunity to be a little downtime, realizing that gamers like to play other games too,
Mhm.
and just go, okay, well, yeah, we know everybody grinded everything out by the middle of November. There's a lot of games coming out that we're pretty sure all these people want to play too. So we'll just take that opportunity to try to do something on our end, dev-wise, and let them go play Cyberpunk 2077, even though, you know, it's half broken.
Yeah, that's why I haven't been playing it. Like, I want to play it, but it's broken on PC so bad I can't play it right
Right. And then Assassin's Creed Valhalla came out, and
now.
then
You've been grinding that.
yeah, and then there's been 2 or 3 other games, and of course Hitman just came out. And then there's another one I can't think of right now that I've been hearing people talk about. And so I don't know if game developers think that way, but you would think business-wise you would want them to. Because why would you introduce super amazing hot content at the same time that 4 really anticipated games are coming out? To me, it seems a little bad business.
I
But
understand
maybe
that.
I don't understand the gaming industry.
To a point. But it's still a contest of how are we going to keep people in our game.
Yeah.
Destiny isn't like a Dragon or Cyberpunk, which are self-contained stories. This is
Yeah.
like WoW. People
Yes.
play WoW every single day. People
Okay.
used to play Destiny every single day.
I used to.
But
I used to wait to get on. Boy, I couldn't wait to wake up and get on.
like, I think part of the problem is what we don't realize is half the game is gone. Things that we used to take for advantage, like going to a different planet, not there anymore.
No, I already knew.
There's no. I really wish there was a straight up horde mode.
Okay,
just-
so you didn't play D1, right, Slayton?
I did.
How
Yes.
many times have you mentioned
you went
horde
through
mode
this
in our,
before,
sessions?
right?
Like, you always bring up horde mode. You're really
I
wanting
agree with
that.
him. I think one of my favorite activities in Gears of War was horde mode. I would go into horde mode just to do all 50 waves, and it was challenging.
That's
And
what
I
the Infinite
enjoyed it.
Force should have been.
So here's a thought, and I still watch everything about Destiny. I still read stuff. I don't play it currently, but stop, little man, dog. If they would have not said this is Destiny 2, okay, I think they're trying to reset the game like it would have been Destiny 3.
C1.
So if they would have
Oh.
said this is Destiny 3, you're going to have to understand we're going to take away all this stuff, but it's Destiny 3, it's a new thing, so we're going to go on with it. No, you left it as Destiny 2 and took all of our stuff away. So people aren't as understanding. If they would have said, okay, Beyond Light is going to start Destiny 3, people would expect to a certain degree that they're not going to have as much as they used to. But because they left it as Destiny 2, people got even more butthurt. They're not going to be as understanding. It's just my point of view, and a few other people that I've talked to, and we all agree they should. This is where essentially should have started Destiny 3.
Makes sense. I mean, the dramatic change in the storyline would have definitely been easy to basically sell as a new game.
Yes.
You know, like the end of Destiny 2 is the darkness is looming. What are we gonna do? Dun dun dun.
Yep.
And then Destiny 2 or 3, Exo Stranger
Beyond
to
Light.
the rescue.
There we go.
I think the problem with that is it wouldn't have been a true Destiny 3, we would have known. Because they put a lot of time and effort, quotation marks, in stasis, but not the other ones to keep it up to par.
Well,
I don't know why you would have done that without adjusting all the powers so they'd work the same way.
so here's the biggest thing about stasis, and not a lot of people talk about it. All three types, all three characters, Hunter, Titan, and Warlock, we've never had supers that work in tandem with each other like stasis does. Regardless of whose crystals are where, I can still use them, and I can still, if a Titan, say I'm in PvP and my person throws down, any kind of crystal, and I watch him die, his crystals are still there. I can, shatter dive on him if I played stasis in the Crucible, which I don't because I'm not going to feed into it. But I can use it and still get all my bonuses, and vice versa with all three classes. So, I mean, the only differences are the fragments. You have those individualized, but in general purpose, if I have on, the Whisper of, Hedrons, and I use, someone else's, crystals, I'm still getting the damage boost, even though it's not my crystals. No other subclasses work together like that. None. Like barely. What? You have the Well of Radiance and,
Yeah.
the Bubble Titan.
Yeah, which is what I play.
Have Bottom Tree Tether, and I think that's it. But that's only just little buffs and things like that. They're not actually using each other's. I don't know. It's how they're gonna do it with the light subclasses is beyond me. So.
I wish they had thought to say we're going to fix the other ones to be the kind of the same way. But you're right. I like the way that stasis works together, but the only weapon that has stasis is Salvation's Grip, and it's completely pointless. Like,
No, it's
I've not
actually
figured out the good use for it.
okay. I personally took the time and effort because this is what I like to do in Destiny is test everything. I love the salvation script for mobility purposes as a hunter. I can actually do things on a hunter that I can't do, like just getting across certain places or this, that, and the other by building it up. If you go in it, ability, focused on anything, take the salvation's grip and see if you don't have all your abilities all the time, just destroying everything. Really give it a chance. Like, charge it up. You're going to see the little purple thing, shoot it. Anticipate where your enemies are going to be. Go ahead and get it ready. That way there is no actual, stutter in it. If you're just running mundane stuff, everyone's like, oh, I want the lament, this, that, and the other. Cool, I understand. It's overpowered. But your abilities as stasis is your bread and butter. It destroys everything. If you want, boss damage, grab a slug shotgun. You're good. I promise you. But
I took it through some strikes
mm-hmm.
because I was trying to play with it, and the only good I got to do was to stop like ogres, to stop people, because I don't think I charged it up enough because it didn't turn purple. It was always blue. And I got to the point where I could predict where they were going.
There's a little emblem that will show you where it's going to land on the ground if you charge it.
It's like a crosshatch.
Yeah, I call it a purple color. I guess it's blue. I don't know.
Mine is blue. But the problem is it doesn't really kill anything.
That's
so I'm
not
not
the point
getting
of
credit for my grenade launcher kills.
So the way I completed, especially on a hunter, the way I completed my entire stasis thing was I took, I was like, how am I going to get, melee kills? How am I going to get this? Because I'm a hunter. How are you going to get nade kills as a hunter for some of these bounties? And I'm like, Salvation's Grip. And you shoot it, you use that. You really got to use your brain on Salvation's Grip. It's not a mindless thing like the Lament, but it has its uses. You can run it with a whole fire team, and you'll constantly have your damage boost from the Whisper of Hedrons. You'll have your Whisper of Fissures up. You'll have everything up because when you don't have your nade to throw, you got Salvation's Grip to give you that extra boost in your grenade recharge by using it. So you're still breaking the crystals. It's still counting towards all the fragments and aspects that you have going. It's a utility weapon, not a damage weapon.
Then I just need to rethink the way I'm thinking about it.
Correct. It's not a damage weapon. If your abilities are gone by using them all the time with stasis, take Salvation's Grip in and say, crap, I don't have anything. There's a huge group of ads. I don't have my nade to use my Shatter Dive. Oh, I have Salvation's Grip. You shoot it on the ground, boom. You have the Whisper of Fissures and the Whisper of, I can't remember the name of it, but it increases your recharge rates for certain things. It's a utility weapon. That's the way you have to think of it.
So since the new season's coming out and we'll probably be back in it, what are we expecting? Because I read something the other day where they were apologizing that they can't progress the story right because, like, we freed Spider, but he's still there. Aldrin, yeah, from Spider, and he's still there, and he's not supposed to be there, and some other aspects of it, and they've been really, really tight-lipped. I wish, as Maddie said, they wouldn't have released the raid so soon. That's something you should put like mid-year to build up to and have fun with it so that people can experience the game. But now that we've experienced the raid, what do we expect next season?
I've heard rumors that next season is supposed to be focused on the Crow. So I'm hoping that really is true. I I mean, I don't know where the end game is and what our whole thing is going to be with the darkness. We have so many moving parts on the outside. But there's, and I know this seems weird because he killed my favorite character, but I just have this thing where I'm like, I feel like the Crow is going to be very important in the fight against the darkness. I don't know why, but I feel like he's going to be very important.
Because he's going to bring his sister back.
Yeah, but at the same time, you kind of have to go, well, what's that reunion going to be like? Since he doesn't even know who the F she is, and she's going to be all like, yeah, you killed somebody they all want. I mean, that's going to be awkward. Plus, where's she been at? Is she bringing the 9 back with her? Is she bringing all the Cabal with her? Is she bringing all the Fallen? Like, where's she been? She's just hanging out somewhere in space, doing her thing, making her deals. She has to know her brother's alive again. There's just no way that she can't know. I mean, Petra knows.
She knows. She's not stupid, so.
Yeah. So is there a reason she hasn't tried to reach out to him? Is it because she understands, hey, this dude ain't gonna even know who I am? I feel like, yeah, Mara's gonna come into it. I'm still curious as to when everything's gonna come together, like that whole scene where we saw Zavala in a room with Cabal captains or Cabal commanders.
I see that being the Witch Queen.
Okay.
Like, that's when we'll really see that, in my opinion, that's all.
And I feel like, too, that even though the darkness moved in, and we saw it all come and, swirl around Mercury and swirl around different planets and hide them away, and that's why they got sunsetted, that how long is it going to be before we actually really start getting into dealing with the darkness? That this is probably all going to be about dealing with the sisters this year. That the darkness gave them some sort of confidence. Or maybe they brought the damn darkness here. That part I'm not really sure yet. Is the darkness really just rolling through the universe again, trying to seek out the traveler? Or is Zavathun doing some weird witch creepy stuff in the background and has been calling the darkness here because that's the only way she can beat us? That's what I'm going to be interested to see. Even though when Eris was receiving the different messages from the darkness, which we don't really know that those was from the darkness, or is it from Savathun? Because, Savathun is like the queen of manipulation type stuff. So that's where I'm curious. Like, is the darkness here to destroy us, or was it brought it here by Savathun, or maybe her and her sister, to finally destroy the Guardians? I don't know. But I really think that, yeah, because Savathun has dealt with the dragon before, the wish dragon. I'm totally drawing a blank right now. What we fight in Last Wish. And of course, it didn't go well for her. I kind of got twisted a little bit. So I'm wondering if maybe that's where the Crow and Mara are going to come into play. Like maybe they're going to have the key to finally defeating her, because the only one who's kind of been able to get under her skin happens to be part of the Awoken culture. Of course, these are all way out there thoughts and feelings, but it all seems really interesting if we got there.
According to lore and everything else we've all read, the Crow is supposed to take the Hunter Vanguard. I don't see them doing that with him.
No, but didn't it technically go to either us or Petra?
There's no point for the Vanguards, though. We, like in Destiny 1, we reported the Vanguards. Now we don't.
No.
Yeah, we kind of told Zavala,
I don't see the crew
like
falling into that.
We're going to do our own thing,
Ikora's still useless.
Nice to
She's
see
always
you.
been useless.
Yeah, she's down, isolated.
So let's
I
talk.
think the minute Cade was dead, and we're like, yeah, Aldenstov is mine, I think both Zavala and Ikora knew at that point, yeah, we're not controlling that one anymore. That was going to go do its own thing.
Well,
which maybe they're okay with that, because it gives Zavala an excuse to still be spineless and think that he's some, goody two shoes, but yet still see justice served. But he doesn't have to do it. And then, I'm kind of missing this whole thing with Ikora, because with Osiris being back, why don't we see more interaction with those two? Why isn't there something more behind that? I mean, that was
We haven't seen Osiris since the crow saved him.
right. Where the hell's he at? What's he doing? I
Hiding.
don't know.
I was gonna say he's
Probably
hiding in
yeah.
a corner somewhere
Secure
without,
his dad.
He's
security.
on his last life.
Yeah, literally.
Then come to the tower, hang out with Ikora, be protected. I don't know.
So
was
we're not
kicked out by
playing
them.
currently. Like I'm playing Phantasy Star Online 2. Maddie, you're playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. Valhalla. Slayton, what are you grinding on?
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
That thing. I couldn't remember what the hell he said earlier. So
It is bat guano crazy.
So here's we're looking at I currently have pulled up the TWABs, and you tell me if any of this is going to bring y'all back in to play the game for an entire season, not just to get it and get out like we did this season, which you get in, you get off, you get out. But so they're bringing 6 new legendaries, 2 to each activity: Strikes, Gambit, Crucible. Now, they didn't say if they were random rolls. They said ritual activities. As we know in the past, the ritual weapons are so-so.
This season's was so-so.
I mean, they had their uses. I really enjoyed, Randy's throwing knife in the Garden of Salvation because of what we had. We had the scout rifle, I think Unstoppable or Overload or something like that. So we definitely needed that in the raid. Or it might have been Barrier. But anyways, we have the Palindrome coming back, the Swarm coming back, and the Shadow Price all coming back from D1. All 3 were extremely popular, more so the Palindrome and Shadow Price, but if they're random rolls, once you get your God roll, and like if you were like me with the Deepstone Crypt, the first 3 weeks, I got all the God rolls. I was done. I just needed Eyes of Tomorrow and some rolls I wanted. So, you have those, you have the adept versions of the Grandmaster stuff. You have the adept versions, which if it's anything like the, Trials adept versions, it's going to be pointless and useless and stupid. Is any of this going to bring y'all back to grind it out?
I don't do a lot of grinding. I play to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll go in about once a week now and play some, but not as much as I used to. If I really like the weapon, I will try, like with narcotic grips.
Mm-hmm.
I found the day to do it, and I really just grinded it out. I don't enjoy the grind, which is why I like Unroll Ingrams, because you can then start to really craft what you want. And I thought that was amazing. So I'm really happy they're bringing that back. But the problem with the grind is, how many raids have you done, DP? Of Deepstone Crypt?
Except for last week, 3 times every week.
You would think the game would have a system say, okay, this mofo has been doing this hardcore. Let's give him Eyes tomorrow.
I have over 30 something clears, maybe 40 at this time. But if you really think about it, it's 25 actual clears for each week to get the Eyes of Tomorrow. It might be 22 right now, 24. It's somewhere in there, for me. But no, I haven't gotten Eyes of Tomorrow. Do I care about it? Not really. I mean, that's the only thing holding me back is RNG to get that title. And do I care about the title? No. I don't know.
Items like the one I'm holding on to for the Pit of Heresy that would help your odds, I'd be all for it. Mm-hmm. But forcing people to grind with such a low RNG makes people not want to play.
Well,
I've come across a lot of people who are like, we're done.
So there's 2 people. Mystery got it on her very first clear ever. And according to another guy in our clan, he's gotten it 18 times.
I don't understand that.
And then how many people haven't gotten it at all?
which I've jumped in just to help with raids, to do the raids myself for everything, and it's like, you're not gonna get it. So for me, it makes me feel like Anarchy and 1K all over again, and I got tired of chasing those, and I just stopped. Eventually, I got 1K, and I got Anarchy finally. Um, when they did the boost on them. Now I'm not like another guy in our clan who ran it literally 80 something times and never got Anarchy. He finally got it on the boosted. So
Yeah. I mean, I've been lucky in some weapons that I've gotten, in raids especially. 1K took me about 30 tries before I got it.
took me 34.
But there's some other weapons, just like non-exotics, non-raid weapons, that like I could never ever even get half a decent roll on them, no matter how hard I try. So it kind of like evens out for me. But then I hear examples of people are like, yeah, I've never gotten anything from that raid that's worth a shit, or I've never gotten any god roll on this particular weapon or that particular weapon. I mean, it just seems like the RNG is all over the place, which is exactly what that's supposed to be. It's RNG. Right.
But if you're going to dedicate time, there should be a system where like it'll help you a lot better off. Like the matter, the Ingram.
Well, I remember watching Glad one night. He was doing one of the lost sectors, the legendary or exotic lost sectors, in order to get whatever it was he was chasing after, some exotic. The dude ran it 50 times, still didn't get the exotic.
That was his worm husk. I watched that one.
Okay, yeah, that was the one.
He was going for his god roll worm husk, and he got 2 out of like 30 or 40 runs, and they were both crap.
Yep. I mean, it was ridiculous. Like, how do you run?
I did the same thing, and like I was going after a better pair of stompies, and I ran that, and I want you to add this up. I ran one of the lost sectors. I can't remember the name of it. It's the one over on Earth. Starts with a V. It's right down in the ship. I ran that at a minute and a half, back to back. It only took a minute and a half, and if you want to count, loading in and out. So let's say 2.5 minutes. So every 2.5 minutes, I would run it, and I did that for 6 hours straight. Never got stompies.
DP, do you remember in Destiny 1 where you could change the stats of your gun and get random rolls?
Arms days?
It was a regular thing they did. You could go to Banshee.
I think I remember, yeah. So me personally, I think they should bring back Arms Day. Every Wednesday, I look forward to chasing. I got the best scout rifle and still got it over on D1. It's called the Tuonela SR4 that I could ever hope for. And why they stopped that, I don't know.
For those who didn't do Destiny 1, they introduced a system towards the end of its days where you could go to Banshee and pay to re-roll stats on your gun, so you get different.
You have to have the motes of light, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap, no, but you could re-roll that, and I wish they'd bring that back, or at least make it so you could earn certain things that you could do that with. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Are y'all excited for the Vault of Glass? I personally am. It was my favorite raid.
I used to love the hydras at the bottom that were grouped around. When we got to the point where we could like hunt them down, that was fun.
So when do you think that's coming out? Like, how is that going to play into the story?
It says in year 4. It doesn't say. I think season 14 is, I think, was what they said. I've got the TWAB from 1210 up. And it says in year 4. Let me pull up the only other one. Let's see, 114 was our next one. And I want to say this was Hawk Moon. Yeah, this was Hawk Moon. So, okay, with this pulled up, because all I know is year 4, they're going to make the Shattered Throne and the Pit of Heresy weapons viable again. But only from those. Why do you, they brought back the Sleepless, the Waking Vigil, the Vouchsafe, the shotgun that I could never get a god roll on. I can't remember the damn name of it now. I'm gonna have to look at it real quick. And the retold tell. So, that's the only other, shotgun that can rival the Fellwinter's Lie, because it used to be able to get quick draw, but apparently they're all getting new perks that you can't get starting next season. So apparently we're going to see new perks, which honestly, in the perk department, recombination, reconstruction, all those great perks. So they did good there, but they didn't bring back. So if we go over to the moon weapons, you've got, the Heretic, a rocket launcher. One of the best high impact, pulses, in my opinion, which is the Premonition. You've got the Apostate and the Blasphemer, which is another slug primary shotgun. You do realize that the only shotguns that we have are slugs in the kinetic slot. We only have, Chaperone, the Raid one, and we now have the Blasphemer again. We don't have any other spread shotguns. I mean, if you want to count, the Hawthorne's, Field Forge shotgun, which is a lightweight, which is crap, compared to a slug now, we have none. There's a lot of things that we don't have, but are y'all going to grind those out? Being PvE players, because a lot of those are focused around PvP.
Well, I need a new shotgun, so yeah, I probably will.
Well,
But-
I mean, the Blasphemer is actually a really good one, but you could throw in the Raid one and be, 10 times better.
Right, but I haven't gotten the Raid one. So
Well,
between
we are going to get it for you.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
have the Raid one.
Yeah, I did get a decent hand cannon roll because I've got the reconstruction on it, and then
Rampage?
something else. But I mean, I am still looking for a decent shotgun. I mean, if it's not an exotic, I have shit.
I
They
love
took away my
Fellwinter's
threat
Lie.
level, which was my favorite shotgun ever. I had amazing rolls on it, and I have been hoarding on to that shotgun for the last year, 2 years? I don't
Yeah.
even know how long. It's been.
I did think of you, Maddie, because the Dreaming City armor is going to be viable again. In my opinion, some of the best looking armor. Some of, not the best, but probably top 3 in my opinion. I love the Dreaming City armor, and I was like, I know me and Maddie loves the hell out of it. So I know you're going to grind out that armor for sure.
Yes, I will go back to the Dreaming City every week and grind out to get me my armor.
I think the
love
moon
that.
armor looks like ass, but that's just me. Slayton, are you going to grind armor or anything, man?
I'll get them just to have them, but I'm an aesthetic whore. I will make it look good, and I will put everything behind it, like my Raid armor. And I have a secondary set of armor, which I put ornaments on, so I could switch in and out. But that Raid armor set is amazing looking. I'll be wearing it for a while.
I love the base look, especially on Titans, of the Dreaming City armor. That's me. I love all the base looks. Like, you don't need an ornament to make any of it look good. So, I mean, I'll probably grind the armor, and once I get a little bit of rolls here and there, I'll be like, okay. But the weapons, I mean, they didn't bring back a 120 hand cannon, which is your meta, and they just buffed it from the moon, right? Or yeah, which is, do y'all remember the name of it? It looks like it has little feathers on it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the styling of most of the moon weapons.
I didn't either, but it's still a 120, and we only have 3, and one of them you can't get no more, which is the True Prophecy. So I'm glad I held on to mine, but at the same time, they've taken so much away, and we have nothing. Do you realize we have no Void SMG right now that is viable with the current light level? Because I went to go look for a Void SMG for my anti-barrier. We don't have one that's viable. That is current light.
Yeah, so they got some gaps to fill. For
A lot
sure.
of gaps.
I want them to make new things.
Thank you.
I'm really tired of recycling the old things. I mean, yay, we get them back, but Give me something new.
Yeah.
So I was excited for the Eyes of Tomorrow. Good luck getting it.
Yeah, true. So, okay, I know this doesn't really pertain to y'all, but how do y'all feel on the new vendor system for, a PvP? Is that going to draw y'all in?
Oh, is it just for PvP?
Just for PvP?
Maybe.
Okay.
I thought it
It's
was going
not-
to be all over.
It said right now, this is strictly for PvP, but they are looking at the strike one. It will change in the future because to grind that out and get materials, you got the Nightfalls and the Grandmasters and all that stuff like that. Whereas PvP, all you had was you reset your rank and you got 10 enhancement cores.
I was hoping it was going to be all of them because it's pointless to look now. You get stuff you're not going to use, it just gets instantly discarded. I
Mhm.
get shaders that I'm never going to use. I've got like 800 Vanguard shaders that I'm not going to use.
Mhm.
So
Get
give
rid
me
of
a better progression system. I mean, I'll try it out in PvP. I don't do a lot of PvP as it is. I like control and I love mayhem. Love mayhem.
I know you do.
But outside of that,
For me personally, as a PvP person, this is a quality of life thing that we have needed for much longer than us being in an uproar for the last 2 or 3 seasons. More than what we normally are because we've gotten the shaft for so long over in PvP, and I know Destiny and Bungie want to be a PvE primarily focused game, but it's not. Since Bungie has brought out Destiny, yeah, their main focus was not PvP, and they even said it. But half of your community is PvP. This is not a PvE game with PvP, regardless of what anyone says. This is a
so split it off
PvE
into its own game.
and PvP game. It's both, regardless of what anyone says, because we are a hardcore PvP community. And
Which is fine.
just as hardcore as PvE is, I don't want to see y'all get shafted ever. And y'all have always gotten the good end of stuff. So
Not
I'm
always.
glad to see they made a change, but at the same time,
Not Forgotten, Recluse,
No,
Mountaintop. I
because
think all three
they
of those
do
were
the
locked
things
behind PvP content.
like
they were.
Maddie
And
said.
did you use the Not Forgotten in PvE? No.
I never got Not Forgotten, so I never used it, period.
It was strictly PvP.
Like I've said before, they should do strictly PvP quests and PvE quests. They should not mix because that stalls people who don't do PvP like me and Maddie.
Well,
never
Or
have
opposite,
I gotten
you throw
Joker's
in,
WoW.
you have to do 100k Nightfall or a raid. That stops the PvP person from being able to finish it.
That's
too.
why they need to strictly
that's why they
PvP
changed the
quests
vendors
and PvE.
finally. Thank you. Like now we have a way. Like I don't mind playing PvE, but it's a monotonous grind in my opinion. I know where the enemies are going to be. I know what's going to happen. I know this. I know that, and I can develop a strategy, and I can just use that strategy all the time, and I get rewarded for it. But it's mindless grinding that I don't enjoy. Like, give me some chaos. Give me the menagerie. Give me the forges where everything's thrown at you at once, and it's like, holy shit. But in PvP, it satisfies my chaos, and yet I'm going to get rewarded finally for grinding out that part of the game that is my favorite. And that's what I personally enjoy, and now it'll be actually worth going in and dealing with stasis for a little bit.
Right. Because it gives you a mental challenge because you're not going against the bot, you're going against another
Right.
human. And you have
That's
no
true.
idea what they're going to do. Well,
So
you're probably
if
good
you-
enough. You're anticipating, but like me, I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. Maybe if I practice, but
Beyond
All right,
that-
so it's time to get this show wrapped up.
Yep.
We're going to be back with you guys in 2 weeks. Don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we'll figure it out before then. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts on Discord if you're in the clan or online. Your thoughts about being bored and Eventually, we will get Arctic and DP on their offshoot PvP show when they feel like it's worthwhile.
Honestly, there's only two things I could tell you. You use the 120 and use fell winners.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you want to join the Bulletheads clan, go to bulletheads.org.
Yep.
And we'll be back with Fireteam Misadventure in 2 weeks on Monday. Having lots of fun. So hopefully Arctic will be back. I think he has a job like mine where you're the technical support guy, and everything in his job fell apart today. So
Yeah.
mine was last Friday. All right. So say bye, everybody.
Night. Y'all have a good day. And eyes up, Guardians.